Still sunny and windy on the south side of Chicago since we left you as the Sox fell in game number 1 of the St. Louis Cardinals. Final score 5-1. Game 2, chance to re-rack it and do it again. Coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's a bullpen day for both teams, and there is a guy who has 317 fewer career starts than the guy who started game number 1. John Woodford makes his first appearance in Major League Baseball, and he will face Matt Foster, who has been outstanding for the Sox, both out of the bullpen and as an opener quasi-starter so far in 2020. Thanks for rejoining us. Hope you had a snack. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone. This is day baseball, Steve, and day baseball has not smiled upon the Sox this year.
No, if they're going to get it done this year, they're going to have to learn how to consistently win during the daytime, because there's a lot of day games, especially on the weekends. When you look at the numbers, they just don't look quite as good as they should, as the Sox have dominated a bit at night, and during the daytime, not so much. 3-5 in day games, including the first of this doubleheader, and 7-5 in night games. So, for whatever reason, the Sox at least have started off not very good under the sunshine, something that they're going to have to get a whole lot better at as we move along in this season.
Dayside tomorrow. This is a day game as well. It's a 7-inning ball game as Eloy Jimenez and the Sox try to solve the Cardinal bullpen. In game number 1, the Sox put up a total of 3 hits. 2 of them with that guy doing that.
NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. First Midwest Bank, helping you build momentum. You have plans. First Midwest Bank has ideas. Xfinity. Xfinity X5 delivers blazing fast Wi-Fi with no curveballs. And by Wintrust, home of White Sox check-in. Visit wintrust.com/Sox to open today.
Game number 2, a hat for each game here in our doubleheader. Jason and Steve with you, and Danny Mendick's got 4 games of at least 2 hits, including game 1 of this doubleheader. He's playing again in game 2.
I think it's really great how he's come on the scene, gotten his opportunity, and made the most of it. He always seems to be on just about everything because he's a contact hitter. Doesn't matter if you throw him the curveball or the change or the occasional fastball. He seems to hit it in a spot where nobody's standing, which is the key to being a pretty good hitter. I love the fact that he's played a good, solid defense, and now with the opportunity to play, Leary Garcia's lost for the year. Nick Madrigal is not here. Hopefully he gets back soon. But in their places, Mendick is getting a chance to show what he can do, and at every level he's ever been, he's been an overachiever, and it's held true here in the major leagues.
See if he can come up with a couple more hits against the Cardinals bullpen in game number 2. Sox are trying to salvage a split. Take a moment to relax. First pitch is coming soon. Saturday as the Sox and Cardinals play game number 2, and our Four Seasons weather for the ball game looks like this. Has it gone from soupy? Oh, it's burning on my side of the booth. It's cool on your side of the booth.
It's wonderfully cool on this side. Early in the game, I had no idea what you were talking about as you were sitting there absolutely melting.
Thanks, graphics. Good job, Kamka. Matt Foster is going to start this game for the Sox, and what we've seen of Matt Foster has been pretty impressive, don't you think?
Well, he's thrown a lot of strikes, and he's around the plate with everything. And because he's got a certain amount of deception in his delivery, the hitters don't seem to catch up to it. You know, he can throw 94 and occasionally 95, but the hitters don't see it very well coming out of his hand. It appears, or perceived velocity appears to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 97. They seem to be late on it. Hopefully that continues as the Sox dearly want a split of this, which is the only thing left to them.
While we have a moment, we should take a look at our Insure on the Spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. It's Edman at the top of the card in game 2 for the Cardinals. Colton Wong gets the second game off. Carpenter and Goldschmidt. O'Neill, the well-traveled Brad Miller. Then the rookie Carlson, Wieters, Max Schrock in his first major league game, and Harrison Bader batting 9th. Goldschmidt doesn't look real happy to be in our lineup graphic.
He's not the most demonstrative of all baseball players I've seen. I mean, you get his looks and you see anywhere from elation to despondency, and they pretty much look almost the same. However, he can play on my team anytime he wants to because he's really good at what he does.
We should have asked him before we put him on the lineup graphic. He was very stern with that. So, White Sox and Cardinals, we have quite a few bullpen arms to share with you during this game, as James McCann will catch and Matt Foster, the Alabama native, will throw in his second career start here at Guaranteed Rate Field this afternoon.
Last time out in a similar situation, he was able to go 2 innings. Now we'll see if they can induce 3 out of him, but first things first, get through the first one, then worry about the others. But wouldn't mind seeing him go 3, which, by the way, in a 7-inning game is pretty good. You get your game in the hands of the bullpen without a whole lot of outs to cover. So there you look at the numbers, and they've been just exceptional. 13 strikeouts and 7 2/3. It doesn't get much better than that with only 2 walks and 2 hits. And for Roman, his 4-seam fastball 51% of the time. The changeup at 37. The slider not so much, but that's a work in progress and will get better. But the fact is that his changeup and his 4-seamer come out of the exact same release point. So you can't read it, and so far at least, hitters haven't read it at all. So you take a 20th round draft pick, you put him right in the middle of a major league bullpen, get him to start a couple of times, which is something, by the way. As a professional, he never did at any level. This is really unusual for him, and it's a different mindset. Although you're not going to go through the lineup 3 times, you realize that you're having more time to warm up than you usually have, and it is an adjustment. Let's take a look at our UI Health defensive setup, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there for game 2. It's Eloy, Luis, and Nomar, same as in game 1. Yohan, Tim, Danny, and Jose in game 2. Likewise, same as game 1, but James McCann behind the plate. Matt Foster on the hill. There is Ricky Renteria, who wants to see his team get out a little more quickly than they did in the first game. They gave up 4 to the Cardinals in the first inning and never could come back in that one. So let's see if Matt Foster can do his job, get out of the first inning, turn it over to the offense, and the Sox can jump on top early.
Well, here we go. The Cardinals have changed out of their powder blue jerseys. Sox are wearing the black tops for game number 2. And we are just about ready for baseball with Tommy Edman, who was 1 for 4 in the opener with a run scored in that first inning. It was a hit by pitch, a 2-run single, and an RBI single in a 9-batter first for the Cardinals that put that game away early. And Foster with a fastball has ball 1. We are off and running at 3:17 in game 2.
Edman is a jack-of-all-trades player who last year hit .304 for the Cardinals, .305 for Memphis. Pretty dependable and a man you can put anywhere, and he gives you a really good effort. But he hasn't seen the straight change from Matt Foster. And the first time you see it, you realize that he's not tipping anything, which makes his fastball look that much better if you have to defend against that change.
So first, Abreu says, no need to cover. I got you. 1 down. Well, part of the deal with Matt Foster, too, is he's got pretty substantial vertical movement on his fastball as well, which goes along well with that changeup that you're talking about.
I just like the arm velocity and the fact that you really can't tell any disparity. So you get a lot of hitters, they're either out front or behind everything he throws, which is a great place to be.
One down for Carpenter. He takes a first pitch fastball just off the plate for ball 1. The Sox utilized 3 pitchers in the opener. That was Lucas Giolito for 5, Detweiler and Ruiz each for 1 inning. Real close again.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch. Both of them have been pretty good pitches. We'll watch it again. Could have gone either way, and it went Carpenter's way.
How about that changeup, which swung toward him and then came back toward the plate? Ooh, I mean, he's all over the edge of the strike zone, and it's 3-0 for Carpenter. That one is there. Carpenter out of TCU. He's now 34 years old, a former 13th round pick of the Cardinals 11 years ago. And boy, has he been really successful for them. Career OPS plus of 126. It's a big number in his 10 years as a Cardinal. Danny Mendick lets it approach. And 2 gone, 2 ground balls.
I love the fact that he came back from 3-0 and put a couple of pitches in the zone, the second of which was right into the teeth of the shift. So quickly, 2 up and 2 down.
And here is Goldie, Paul Goldschmidt, who was 1 for 4 in that opening game with a single in the 7th inning. Got a strike, 0-1.
Goldschmidt, one of the few guys that actually tips his bat over his back. It's actually not parallel. You can see it. See what he does there, but he has to come back into the hitting position.
A little Julio Franco in there.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter where you rest the bat. Some guys put it on their shoulders. Some guys tilt it down. As we watch Goldschmidt, he tilts it straight down. But to get back to the hitting position, you got to come straight up and drop your hands. Otherwise, you have no chance to hit it, and he hits them pretty well. So he's going to look at a slider here, I believe.
0-2. Just missed again, 1-2.
That's one of the things that you're really impressed with when you look at Matt Foster. The fact is, when he does miss, he misses like that. It's just right off the plate. So everything he throws, even when he's well ahead of the hitter, is tantalizing enough to maybe get some swings.
Like that, swing and a miss for strike 3 on a changeup and a 1-2-3 first inning for Matt Foster. A disappearing change ends Goldschmidt. Sox will bat next. No score, bottom 1 as we take a look at our Insure on the Spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. Anderson, Moncada, Grandal, then Abreu, Jimenez, McCann, Robert, Mazzara, and Mendick. Similar lineup to game 1. And they all will face a major league debut. 23-year-old Jake Woodford.
Looks like he likes to sink his fastball. That was last year at Memphis. 9.8 ERA, a little over 4. And they use the major league ball, by the way. And so that's some pretty good numbers. Control's been good, 131 strikeouts and just 150 some innings. So all in all, pretty decent numbers trying to get to the major leagues. And here he is.
He had not been above single A until 2018 when he split time between AA Springfield and AAA Memphis. Then all year last year with AAA Memphis. And he's going to have his first major league ground ball out. It goes to Edman from Anderson. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the defense put out there by Mike Schilt for UI Health. It's O'Neill, Bader, and Carlson left to right in the outfield with Miller, Edman, Schrock, and Goldschmidt in the infield. Matt Wieters has the plate. Jake Woodford on the hill.
Jake Woodford out of Plant High School, nestled in lovely Tampa, Florida. And Plant High School had become terribly famous for Wade Boggs initially. That's Wade Boggs' alma mater. And then more recently for the Tucker brothers, Preston and Kyle. Kyle, who Woodford played alongside in high school. And the polar bear of New York, Pete Alonso.
He's pretty good.
His line drive home runs are ridiculous.
That was a nice adjustment in just 2 pitches for Woodford. Tried to overthrow the first one, and this is his first major league start. First major league game. First one just went spinning up out of his hands. The second one was a perfect curveball. He adjusted from pitch to pitch.
Ball outside, 2-1 on Moncada, who was 0 for 3 with the lone Sox RBI in game 1. Two and one from Woodford. Bouncing ball past the mound. Edmonds got a hustle and out the call at first base. 2 down, close play. Moncada might have been beaten by a quarter of a step.
Yeah, it looked like it to the naked eye. Looked like he got him, and this is a fine play. Moncada's got good speed. Ranging up the middle and an off-balance throw. He just barely gets it there. Big effort, and he did get him.
2 down for Yasmani Grandal. Moncada was hoping that there was a replay necessary, but no. And here is Yasmani Grandal, who walked in game 1, part of an 0 for 2. In for a strike, a curveball at 76. So Adam Wainwright pitched game number 1. We have another curveball to deal with in game 2.
So if you want to know the transition of pitching as we move ahead, we had a whole generation of sinker slider pitchers because the slider was easier to get over than the big curveball. Now when we've gone to the 4-seam fastball, the max effort fastball, the pitch that complements it is the over the top curveball from the same place. We'll see more curveballs going forward.
It's a ground ball celebration in game number 2. We promised some runs and something in the air in the second, maybe.
It very rarely moves his foot. That's his hitting style. But you don't worry about the feet. You talk about the hands. His foot doesn't move hardly at all. Watch the hands on this changeup. This is how you beat a hitter. The hands come forward, the ball's not there. He couldn't pick it up in his delivery. Once you move the hands, you can't get anything into the swing. Foster wins.
Creating confusion.
What you're trying to do, get them to move their hands.
Tyler O'Neill well behind a fastball, strike 1. 6 outs in the game, 5 ground outs and a strikeout in this 7-inning affair. Another ground ball. Tim snaps off out number 1. Tim continues to tweet about getting a portion of our game checks after being mic'd up a couple weeks ago.
He did a good job. I'm absolutely willing to give him your share.
That's the teamwork we expect from this booth. I mean, it's
the least you could do.
High-level camaraderie. 1 down for a have bat will travel. Brad Miller.
You remember him with Cleveland and Philadelphia last year.
And Seattle and Tampa Bay. And
been with a few. He's been with a few.
Oh, 1 from Foster. And climbs up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hit 30 home runs back in 2016 with the Rays, so the power's there. One of the reasons why he keeps on getting jobs. Swinging it from the left side and shows power.
Two balls and a strike to Bradley Austin Miller, whose initials spell BAM. Good for a hitter. Got Booth Bonser in the first game. We got Bam playing third in the second game. 2-1. Oh, wave and a miss. Another changeup that was sterling.
Well, these guys have not seen the Foster change, and because of that, you're going to see a lot of awkward swings, especially if you keep it there. This ball just dies away. Miller swinging at the motion, and the ball just disappears.
Back to Foster, who goes sky high to snap it up and throw out Miller. 2 down.
Pretty nice play on a back-to-back changeup. Second of which hit right back to him. Maybe some hoops in his past. Nice job.
Everything just looks very calm for Matt Foster. He's been totally undaunted.
If you're a 20th round pick and you make it, you have to have supreme confidence all the way up. Because if you start struggling in the 20th round, you probably don't get that many opportunities. The fact that he is here, and not only here, but successfully here, shows you that he's got something special inside.
I mean, it just doesn't happen that people become Major League Baseball players. There is so much hard work that goes into this, and so much competition at every level.
And if you get drafted first 5 rounds, you have a longer rope than guys who are drafted way down.
Yeah, you get more chances, you get more care taken.
Well, first of all, they've given you a lot more money. That's number one. You have a bigger investment. You tend to try to make sure that you give them every opportunity. But in the end, talent wheels out in this game and just about every other one.
Half swing, he went around. It's 2-2 on a ball that may have been a strike anyway. Yeah, be so good that they can't say no.
Danny Mendick philosophy. Just excel at every level. They keep on moving you up, and eventually you find your way in the major leagues.
Oh, wave and a miss. Strike 3. The changeup fluttering through the breeze. Follow the bouncing ball. Yikes. Away with you. Bottom 2, no score.
Sox fans, I am Teddy Carnezes from Tinley Park. I am 10 years old, and I am today's Toyota Junior PA announcer. Now batting, number 79, Jose Abreu.
Good job, Teddy. Awesome work by our Toyota Junior announcer today. And honestly, Teddy, it sounds like if he wanted to parlay that into a top flight Elmo impersonation, I think he could. Like, he's got the inflection down. I feel like Teddy does some impersonations.
It's pretty good. Very professional.
Very professional. Well done by Teddy. Jose's trying to be the first base runner of this game number 2. And he's ahead against the right-hander Woodford.
I want Jose to take a good look at his curveball because I think he's going to be able to do some damage with it. But at 2-0, you probably won't see one. Wieder's looking up in the hands of Abreu. He wants to see if he's getting closer to the plate because he's going to throw the ball away.
Didn't hit the spot, but he turned Jose around. 2-1.
Wieters wants a fastball low and away, doesn't get it there, but he throws it by him. Here's going to be the hook. Let's see if he gets careless with it.
It was up in the strike zone. 2-2.
And that was kind of a hanger, and Jose, seeing it for the first time, couldn't adjust.
You show that to him again, it's going to end up like 450 feet away, don't you think?
Well, it depends on where he throws it.
I mean, right up there.
Yeah, right up there for sure.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back to Teddy.
Now batting, number 74, Eloy Jimenez.
Teddy's got easy power in his voice.
What I like to see is that he looks down at his scorebook afterward. I mean, he's done his job, and now it's time to get to scoring.
That's why you have the notes in front of you, right?
That's exactly right.
1 down, 4. Eloy. 5-1 Cardinals, game number 1. This is game 2 of a doubleheader as the Sox try to get back over 500. Schrock's first chance in the majors. 2 down. We promise there are going to be runs at some point.
Eventually there will, as Cody Hoyer starts throwing. Send along best wishes to Tanner Massengill, his friend Jimmy Tejada. They just keep in touch the whole game. They did the first game. They do it every game. They're huge Sox fans. They talk about the game as it's happening in real time. And so we hope to get you some runs here in this second game, guys.
Here's hoping. I feel like Teddy might be the good luck charm here.
We'll see. First time through, it's almost always the advantage of the pitcher over the hitter.
Ball one to James McCann. Around baseball, the only other game that's gone final is the Twins 4, the Royals 2. Jake Odorizzi went 4, gave up 2. And the Twins now expand their lead in the Central over the Sox to 3. To third, Miller ends the inning. 6 up, 6 down both ways. Still nothing in the outfield.
Hey, Sox fans, show your team pride with White Sox checking and an official White Sox debit card. Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more.
No score after 2 innings, and into the bullpen we go.
Cody Hoyer comes on after 2 wonderful innings by Matt Foster. On for the 6th time, ERA 4.25. No walks, 8 strikeouts. Just one of the great young arms out of the Sox pen, and now they're getting a chance to ply their trade a bit more. Aaron Bummer still injured. A lot of these young guys now have to play meaningful roles in this bullpen. Most of them, or a lot of them, will be used at the back end of the pen.
This is sort of a mid-game situation, even though it's the 3rd. It's essentially the 5th, because this being a 7-inning ball game. Hoyer will come in after 2 great innings from Matt Foster.
And also, it is being a bullpen day. You're going to use guys in situations you wouldn't. But that's what every young, hard-throwing reliever wants. They want to eventually be used in high-leverage situations. But to do that, you have to get it done when you're put in, usually early or mid-game. The more successful you are, the more confidence your manager has. When that happens, they start using you occasionally in high-leverage situations, and then you try to ease your way to the back part of what usually is a winning bullpen.
Every time is a chance for you to show you belong in an even better spot in the manager and pitching coach's mind.
And with so many jobs open around baseball, I think it's not lost on these guys that if there's a log jam because of a really talented bullpen somewhere, you're auditioning for 29 other clubs every time you go out there.
1-2 from the rookie Cody Hoyer to the switch hitting catcher Matt Wieters, former 5th overall pick of the Orioles. Now 13 years ago. Feels like a lot more recently than that. Matt Wieters was just coming into the league. We're getting old.
You're not kidding.
No, I looked at you when I said it, so I'm definitely not kidding.
There's no doubt about that. Older by the day as we move into the second game of a twin bill.
Couple of balls, couple of strikes from Hoyer to Wieters. Second base, Danny Mendick, a shoulder high grab for out number 1. 7 up, 7 down. And here is the premiere of the second baseman Max Schrock, who came over in the Stephen Piscotty deal.
I will tell you eventually, we're going to promise you this. Eventually, this game will be played somewhere other than the infield.
Yeah, hadn't happened yet. We got 13 outs and everything on the infield, or a strikeout at the plate. So here is Schrock, who tips that one for strike 1. Max Schrock, who grew up in North Carolina. And you hear some of the guys on the smaller side, Schrock being 5'9", talk about Dustin Pedroia or a David Eckstein or somebody like that. And for Schrock, it was, growing up, he was a fan of Ty Lawson, the former North Carolina basketball point guard.
Well, look, I mean, you guys are about the same, and you short guys have a tendency to overachieve. Schrock is no exception. Of course, look where you find yourself.
Got pretty personal pretty quickly. Yeah, I don't know. That's okay, but the point holds.
It does.
Yeah. Thank goodness this is a 7-inning game. I think I'm pretty much done after 7. 2-2 on Schrock.
Pretty good lively fastball for Cody Hoyer. I mean, that's been one of the really nice, surprising occurrences of this year, is the depth of the good arms in the Sox organization. We're seeing a whole lot of them come out of the bullpen on a daily basis.
Golfed foul left-hand side toward Kevin Moore's season tickets. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Schrock. He punched him out. 98 with sink.
Right in on the hands, a little movement back toward the middle of the plate. No chance to catch up to it in there. Not the best place for a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in this, your first major league at bat.
Well, Cody's a grizzled vet now. He's been around for a couple weeks. So he's ready to go against these newcomers, these new guys.
The way baseball has gone this year, I would think Bader will probably initiate the first ball to the outfield.
You think so?
Even though Cody Hoyer's thrown pretty well. Maybe we'll get a soft fly ball someplace or pop up.
Sinker, strike, 1-1.
A good movement on everything, whether it's up or whether it's down. Cody Hoyer has that. We've seen Zach Birdie come out of the bullpen a couple of times, and he throws fire also. Fire with movement.
To third, Moncada, and wide on the throw. Bader going for second. Abreu's peg is high. And, well, the ball ended up in the outfield, but not in the way you expected.
There you go.
Oh, don't start with me.
I can only tell you so much, and then I have to leave the rest to you. Yeah, unfortunately, it did wind up in the outfield. But Bader beat it into the ground. He's got very good speed, so you know you have to hurry. And when Yoan has a little too much time, things like that occasionally happen. It got away. The one good thing I'm really happy about with Jose Abreu, we've seen many times when a first baseman goes wide of the bag, puts his arm out to catch a baseball. We've seen a lot of hyperextended elbows and broken hands, broken wrists on that similar play. Jose came away unscathed, I believe.
First pitch fastball away to Tommy Edman. You're not going to take that as a correct prediction, are you?
Far be it from me to do that. No, okay. I would never do that. Did it go out of the infield?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Throw to second. Bader was ready for that about a minute ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, look, Cody's a young pitcher, and it's a daylight play, which means that Tim is going to show his glove. If the pitcher sees his glove between the base runner, in this case Bader, and the bag, that's when you whirl around. Cody was very deliberate, so you're not going to get Bader on that.
In the non-COVID era, in the future, we should go down on the field and you can show us the vantage point there of the pitcher on the daylight play.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Even though Tim is well in back of Bader at second base, when you take a look at him, you see Tim is between Bader and the bag. All he does is open up his glove and show it to the pitcher. If you see it, that's when you make a turn. There's another play that they have there. They don't use it quite as much, and that's from the catcher. He'll do the same thing. He gives you one sign. It means it's a pickoff at second base. Done very well with the bases loaded. And then after he shows you the sign, sometimes a fist, sometimes something else, then he goes flaps. 1, 2, 3 on the third. The shortstop knows, and you know that it's a pickoff. The base runner never sees you look back, and it's an easy way to take a man off base without making a pitch. When it's worked well, it's absolutely exquisite. And depending on your ball club, you have that in your arsenal.
One, two, it's off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Every club you've been on has something like that?
Baltimore had more than others. Chuck Tanner had a number of different pickoffs when I was here with him in 1973, but Earl he might have had 7 or 8 different pickoffs and base running plays that we went over sometimes ad nauseum, to be honest with you. But they worked. We didn't use them often. When we did, it was usually devastating. Had a pickoff play with the bases loaded, pickoff play at first that he used to use on a 3-2 count.
Ooh.
Because that base runner doesn't even think there's going to be a pickoff play behind him. Eddie Murray worked it perfectly, the Hall of Famer Eddie Murray with Baltimore. With a left-hander on the mound, it worked exceptionally well.
Inside, 3-2 on Tommy Edman. Bader at second off the error. 2 down, 3rd inning. And there is the 2-hitter Carpenter.
I'd like to see Eloy playing shallow in left field. Edman does make some contact. Normally it'll go that way.
Off the plate, ball 4. He went 3-2 changeup. And Carpenter will hit with 2 on. Third place in the Dallas Keuchel Beard lookalike contest to Matt Carpenter.
As he's moved along during his career, his beard has also matured.
It follows his own progress.
Yeah. It's pretty stout right now.
Ball 1, real close. Carpenter now 34 years old. His beard also 34. It almost stretches down to one of the Cardinal birds. One out. Foul back.
I'm wondering if there is a restriction on actually the length and if they hit it. Because realistically, ZZ Top could do a great job on base percentage if it was unlimited as how far down the beard went, and if they hit it, you get first base.
Well, so you're saying if the beard gets clipped by the ball, not by the stylist.
Exactly right.
You end up getting first. That's interesting. Probably not going to ask our rules expert about that. It's 2-1. Although Rich did get back to me about, there's Abreu's, which doesn't stretch into the strike zone. There's another beard.
It's a quality beard.
Cutout beard. Rich did get back to me about how long a batter gets possession of the batter's box after we had that discussion about Jonathan Scope the other day, and maybe we'll get to that later on. It's 2-2 on Carpenter.
Good moving fastball by Hoyer. That one just exploded on the outside corner and no contact.
First and second, 2 out, 3rd inning of 7. Center field, Robert is there to make the catch. Sox will bat next, and Teddy's going to tell us who.
Number 88, Luis Robert.
No score, no hits, no nothing. Bottom three from Guaranteed Rate Field. It'll be Robert, Mazzara, and Mendick, and we'll see what Woodford has in reserve after 6 up, 6 down in the first 2 innings. First pitch was ball 1 to Robert, who had himself a double late in game number 1. That was with 2 out in the 7th inning, which doubles as the 9th inning in these doubleheaders nowadays, just for the 2020 season. Robert to right center field. Way back there at the track and the wall. It is out of here. Luis Robert watches it carry, and the Sox take a 1-0 lead, their first in the twin bill.
That's the 3rd home run of the year, his 10th driven in. We'll take another look at Ford home run replay, and this is out over the plate. That appears to be one of those breaking balls that doesn't break very much. And Luis is strong enough and a good enough hitter to take advantage of an early mistake.
And so that home run ball is going to find a home with a White Sox season ticket holder, just like the home run ball from Saturday for Yoan Moncada back 7 days ago. Went to John Dorer of Chicago, a 31st year season ticket holder in game 2. We'd like to mention the home run ball from August the 9th, which we've not mentioned, which goes to Sheldon Brown of Deerfield, the 31st year season ticket holder as well. So this ball will find a home. That was 109.6 off the bat from Luis Robert, and it traveled 435 up and out of here.
Bear in mind, 435 to the opposite field. Wait till he gets out in front of one and takes it to left center field. He's got 500-foot power. We just haven't seen it yet.
So the first hit comes with the first run, and the Sox have their first lead of this doubleheader. One and two. On the ground, second base. Schrock. Test your luck during every White Sox game this season. It is the 50-50 raffle Sox split presented by Wintrust, on sale now until the end of the 4th inning of this, the second game. The current jackpot is at $2,319. So get yours right now at whitesox.com/Sox split. Valid for Illinois residents 18 and over. Luis Robert with simple power has given the Sox a 1-0 lead, and everything's just a little bit sunnier when the Sox have the lead.
Well, you take a look at his swing and nothing looks forced. It doesn't look like he's trying to hit it far. He just easily gets ahead of the bat out and drives it.
That was just reflex driven power on that home run.
It was just a little breaking ball that didn't break. I thought Abreu was going to get something similar to that, but it was up a little bit too high for him. But for Luis, just the right spot.
Jose talking it over with his quick study center fielder. That's in on Danny Mendick. 3 balls and a strike. Danny Mendick out of UMass Lowell, which counts as a Hall of Famer in its athletics department. Spanky LaValliere, former White Sox catcher.
How about that?
He could really book it around the bases, Spanky.
I pitched with a fellow on the Cy Young Award that was from UMass. I don't think it was Lowell, but UMass certainly.
Amherst, yeah.
That was Mike Flanagan.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
I didn't know that. 3-2. One's clipped into the glove for strike 3, and the second strikeout for Woodford.
Tonight, the Hawks and the Golden Knights face off in Game 3 with the Hawks down 2-0. Don't miss Blackhawks pregame live at 6:30. Then watch the game on NBC 5. And after the game, turn back to NBC Sports Chicago for Blackhawks postgame live. And hopefully, it will be a winner.
Two down. First pitch is a strike. We were talking about Matthew Boyd when the Tigers were in town. Matthew Boyd was a young hockey player. And remember Ryan Lamar from a couple years ago? He kind of had that junction point in his career when he was a youngster to decide between baseball and hockey.
There was a Hall of Famer that used to do pretty well for the Braves by the name of Tom Glavine that was drafted by the Kings, the LA Kings, and chose baseball. I think he made the right choice, but he was also a wonderful hockey player. The aforementioned Zach Birdie throwing in the pen. We talked about his stuff earlier in the telecast, and there he is. You just don't hold Tim down too long. He's 0 for 4 in the doubleheader so far.
How about maybe he misses with a breaking ball and he spins it toward the outside corner and Tim shoots it to right?
There you go.
Or not.
Fastball.
I'll leave that to you. Luis Robert, I bet you we're going to see a home run. See, I get some of them right.
Boy, you're the best.
Solo shot, one-zip Sox. Brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Do you have the answer from game number 1? Do you? Because if you do, you add it to the number of innings scheduled for this game minus the number of home runs the Sox hit in a row to open Wednesday's game in Detroit. Can you beat defending champion Strong Password? What a very good video today.
We had a carryover, and I had a lot of people asking me what happened to Sox math in the first game. And that's exactly what happened as Zach Birdie comes into this. On for the third time, he's given up nothing.
He will face Goldschmidt first. And a fastball for ball 1. Cody Hoyer went 1 inning, walked 1, struck 1 out, no runs. And the Sox hold a 1-0 lead. Bullpen day for the Sox in game 2 after Giolito's 5 innings in game 1. And this ball's drilled to left. Jimenez back and he runs out of room. Goldschmidt goes deep and ties the ball game.
Second home run of the year, second driven in. So Goldschmidt, who got his first hit in the first game in the 7th inning, gets his first hit in this game in the 4th inning, and just like that, it's a tie game. Ford home run replay. It's a fastball that's just a little above belt high, middle in, and gone.
The 1 in for the Cardinals, and O'Neill the batter, and he went around for strike 1.
One of the guys who is going to be a mainstay in the Cardinal lineup for some time.
Out of the greater Vancouver area in British Columbia, Tyler O'Neill. Pumped in for a strike from Zach Birdie, trying to bounce back after the Goldschmidt home run. O'Neill just in his 127th game today, so he's yet to play a full major league season after some bit parts in 2018 and 2019 after coming over in the Marco Gonzalez deal in 2017. Struck him out.
That was a very good slider, perfectly placed. Perfect pitch. Our Canadian friend goes down, and by the way, that brings me to Jeff the Giant, another one of our Canadian friends. Don't know if you remember when he met us in Seattle, but he wants to be a luminary. I told him that that was not possible.
What about a birthday shout out for yesterday?
Now that would be good. You just don't celebrate number 75 all that often. So happy birthday.
You think he's 75?
I think so. It looks good for 75.
Giants live long nowadays. Ball and a strike on Miller. Good game so far in game number 2. A couple of solo home runs, and that's all. As the Cardinals convoyed up from St. Louis by rental car and by bus.
Bullpen up and going. Genesis Cabrera. Brother Deuteronomy pitched in the Seattle organization.
I will always be your sledgehammer. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Miller. Down 3-2. Danny at second has to move laterally, and he does get it there in time. Nicely done by Danny Mendick.
Pretty good play by Mendick, and then he was able to actually spin around and still get off a solid throw. Miller bidding for his first hit. It was not to be. A good effort. You watch it again, and you watch, realizing he's not going to be able to get up, but he's going to spin on his knee and make a very accurate throw.
Danny says, whew. We got it there. And strike one on a slider to Carlson, the rookie who's 0 for 4 in his career. A little hesitation from Zach in his delivery, and then he whistled it high and wide.
Yeah, hesitating before you hit the screen with it. Not the most effective you can do, but it's a good idea to give the hitters something else to think about.
Gave him 2 things to think about there.
I like a hesitation every now and then. I think it's a good idea. It gives you some deception.
What about twice?
And now he's got to get it back, and James McCann trying to just settle down a little bit. I'm still here. Hit this glove.
Two balls and a strike. Much cleaner there, 2-2.
That was a good lively fastball. So last time up, Carlson, this is his major league debut day because he played in the first game. He saw some great changeups. This time he's seeing some wall-to-wall heat so far.
2-2.
That was the birdie changeup. That was 94. You'd think that Carlson was going to see a fastball here.
On 3-2, and grounded foul first base side.
It's really impossible to watch a guy in his second game and evaluate him, but when you look at the things that Carlson does, the way he stands, the way he looks in the outfield, the way he runs, you got to figure that he's going to be a major leaguer for a while.
Downstairs, ball 4. He took a slider on 3-2. Hey, White Sox baseball is back, but it's not the same without you. Keep your ballpark traditions alive in 2021. Let's talk ticket plans, group outings, and more. Call or text Sox Ticks to 312-674-1000 or go to whitesox.com today. 1 on, 1 in, 2 out for Matt Wieters. Fastball strike. I'm with you. I was surprised it wasn't a fastball in 3-2.
Yeah, but he worked Wieters inside. Wieters came out of Georgia Tech. One of the many good players to come out of Georgia Tech. One of the things he had some problems with, he's going to see a changeup here, but he had some problems with the fastball in, especially from the left side.
To first, Jose puts it away. Cardinals tie the ball game. Their first hit, a solo home run, just like Roberts.
1-1 ball game as we move back into the bottom of the 4th inning. And Genesis Cabrera comes in the ball game just exactly like Phil Collins wanted his group to be called. Left-hander, as the Sox will take a look at a left-hander, and with the right-hand lineup, let's see how they fare against him.
It's Moncada, Grandal, and Abreu coming up against Cabrera, who throws on the average 96.5 on his fastball.
First left-hander they're going to look at today, so that could be a welcome change.
Mostly fastball. Curveball at about 22% last year, but that got knocked around pretty good. 8 for 18 opponents against his curveball last year. He throws a dive bomb fastball, and it's 2-0 on Moncada. Wave and a miss. It was a 2-0 change. You know, Yoan has seen fewer pitches in the zone by percentage by far than any other year in his career. He's seeing fewer strikes, and that might be what led to that 2-0 swing in part.
Then the fact that he really hasn't seen much of Cabrera at all, and so he got very much fooled by a straight change.
Into the glove, strike 3. 1 down. Here's your Sox math winner for today. It is C. Stren's 2022. Answer for game 1 was 15 plus 7 innings scheduled for this here game, -2 home runs the Sox hit in a row to open Wednesday's game. Tim and Eloy. 20 is your answer. C. Stren's 2022 will do the open to Sox math tomorrow. Dayside 1:10 first pitch, 12:30 our pregame show. And we hope you can join us for all of our White Sox coverage tomorrow, as the Sox hopefully will have a chance to take the series. They would need a win here in game 2 today.
This year, this has been the better side for Yasmani. Well, that's 2 2-0 counts and 2 straight changes.
You sensing a pattern?
Just something to file away that hitters have in their memory books.
2-1 misses a curveball. 3-1 close pitch. Cabrera came over in the Tommy Pham deal a couple of years ago, and he throws ball 4. Grandal is on with 1 out. Dallas Keuchel scheduled to pitch tomorrow for the Sox in the series finale. Dakota Hudson opposite. Dallas has been tremendous for the Sox so far this year. Last time he threw, he didn't get much run support. And the see what happens tomorrow, as the Cardinals will go from 0 to 60 real fast, almost literally. I mean, they're going to have to play doubleheader after doubleheader after doubleheader this year to get even close to 60 games. As Cabrera has thrown a first pitch ball to all 3 Sox hitters he's seen so far, and Mike Schultz going to have to navigate the perils of a bullpen that is going to get taxed fast.
By that second doubleheader on the north side of town, if they have 2 and 3 days along with this one today, they might be asking for volunteers.
I mean, that's 8 games in 5 days.
Yeah. Even of the 7-inning variety, that still is very taxing on your pitching staff, especially early when you can't expect your starters to go 7 innings.
And they're without Miles Michaelis. They're without a couple of bullpen arms who've come up hurt, as Abreu pumps it foul, 1-2. Michaelis' big loss.
It's a huge loss, and you know, there's been so many pitchers go down to various injuries, most of them arm related. A couple like Soroka of Atlanta had an Achilles tendon just pop on him. But teams have lost valuable pitchers across the board in baseball. We're seeing it each and every day, more and more.
In 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, the Sox are down Reynaldo Lopez and Carlos Rodon.
Aaron Bummer. Jimmy Lambert. I mean, you know, some really good arms putting more pressure on Jimmy Cordero and the boys. Oh, there he is.
We got Jimmy's on backup. 2-2 from Cabrera. Jose tags it to center. Bader was playing deep. Now he comes in and has to jump. He was out and in and then back out again. And after the hokey pokey, 2 down.
Follow our Sox insider Adam Hogue at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
I like that you grab your mic while you're doing it.
Well,
like you're in a concert venue.
Well, I wanted to grab my ear like one of the Bee Gees did.
Or like We Are the World, like the Farm Aid concert, right? To right field, well struck. Carlson back at the wall. Bring him home. It's a 2-run shot. Eloy Jimenez goes deep. With the jingle in your ears, it's a 2-run home run. Sox 3, Cardinals 1.
Let's sing that every inning.
I'm mean. How about it?
Eloy with his 6th. That gives him 15 driven in. Our 4th home run replay. This is a fastball away, and he hits a line drive. We're seeing more and more home runs to right field because more and more they're trying to stay away from him. He's got big power to center. We've seen he's got good power to right. He's taking the ball out of the ballpark, and the Sox have taken the lead.
Just 9 outs to get in this 7-inning ball game. Jimenez sends it up and out against Cabrera, and it's 3-1 Sox. Hi, Mom.
Hope to see that a whole lot more this year.
James McCann coming into this game running real hot, as he's grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd inning so far today. One ball, 2 strikes on James. Inside, nearly hit him. 2-2. Look, home runs are the great equalizer in Major League Baseball right now. You hit a couple of home runs, everything feels a lot better.
But we've talked about the fact that the wind really has picked up in the second game. In the first game, the ball seemed to die at the track a few different times, but here the ball's just flying. And of course, years ago I talked to a great home run hitter. Not a whole lot of people would remember his name unless you're aficionado of the game, and then you might. That was Willie McCovey. Played first base on the team that I was with San Francisco, and we're talking about the wind blowing in at Wrigley Field. And I said, nobody's going to hit one out of here today. He said to me, when the big guys hit them, they go out anywhere.
The big guys, you say?
The big guys.
How about number 74, one of the big guys?
He's a big guy.
Up and out. Line drive. Oppo. Time to get you caught up. Presented by Honda City. And it's home runs galore. If you like home runs, we got home runs. Luis Robert. Opposite way, right center, up and out. 1-0 Sox with the lead. Didn't last for real long because Paul Goldschmidt did this. It's a solo shot in the fourth inning. We're going to tell you about Jimmy Cordero. Don't worry, the TV's moving forward. Eloy Jimenez, 2-run shot, right-hand side. 3-1 Sox. And Eloy touches them all, except for the third base coach in the COVID-19 era.
Did you say Jimmy Cordero?
I did say Jimmy Cordero. You know, you forecast so many things. Our graphics were trying to show you up by forecasting.
Here he is, Jimmy Cordero, on for the 10th time, so he's been a busy man. He inherits a 2-run lead. It is strange after 4 innings, which is seemingly early in the game normally, that there would only be 9 outs to get.
But that is the case.
That's it.
7-inning doubleheader games. Schrock vaults a ball right-hand side. Mazzara charging. Mendick out, and nobody's going to make the play. Wow, Nomar Mazzara, I guess, thought Danny Mendick was going to make the play.
Didn't really read it off the bat very well and didn't get much of a jump, and that one falls in.
The first major league hit for Schrock.
This one off the end of the bat, and they're going to authenticate that. It's a changeup. He doesn't get a whole lot into it, but he hit it in a good spot.
Just being frank, that ball's normally an out. Bunt shown, strike taken, 0-1.
Bader undoubtedly in this situation looking for a bunt hit.
Jimmy with that hard sinker looking for a ground ball, and it's 1-1 on Bader. So you got Edman and Carpenter, then Goldschmidt to follow. So this is a huge batter in this ball game and in this 5th inning. Chopped foul, 1-2.
Sox bullpen is up and going. Evan Marshall, as Ricky Renteria knows the importance of this game.
One, two. He reaches out and tags it foul right side.
Hey, White Sox fans, Xfinity XFi gives you the Wi-Fi security with a warning track on a smarter, more secure home Wi-Fi network. If it's connected, it's protected. Bader's pretty quick, a tough man to double unless he hits it hard right at somebody, and that's what the Sox infield is looking for.
Inside, 2-2.
Got Tim Anderson and Danny Mendick halfway. They're looking for 2.
2-2 one more time. Chop to third. Moncada at the bag. To second. Mendick turn. Beat him. Double play.
There's your ground ball. There's your double play. Bader thought he could beat that, but Moncada got rid of it quickly, and Mendick did a nice job on the return throw to first base. That is a big play. Yuan right there makes a good solid throw, and then they're going to take a look at it, I think, at first base.
That's going to be close, just like the last one. I mean, real tight.
Yeah, it is real tight. This looked to me like he might have had the foot down before the ball got there. We'll slow it down for you.
Oh, that's as close as it gets.
That's pretty close. Looked to me like the foot might have just been down before the ball hits the back of the glove.
Wow. They'll parse it out in New York.
Yep.
Real happy that's not our job, honestly. But this is one of those that it might be so close that you can't overturn.
If it's our job, looks to me like he's out easy.
Bader's watching again. Mike Schilt is watching.
If it's their job, it looks to me like he was in just ahead of it. But
you think there's enough to say safe?
Well, let's see. I think he was safe. Now, is there enough? I don't know if there's enough to say safe. To me, that foot's on the bag before the ball's nestled in the back of the glove. Again, might not be enough to overturn.
Yeah, again, those are two separate questions for those of you at home. Whether you think he's safe or out, the question is there enough evidence to overturn the out call on the field?
What they're going to do is they're going to freeze it right when the foot hits the bag and see if the ball's in the glove. Foot hits the bag. Doesn't appear that the ball's in the glove yet. I mean, it would be a nice one to take. And Jimmy Cordero, one way or the other, has to continue to throw on the mound because this is taking a little bit longer than you would think.
Here we go. Safe.
To me, he beat it. And I got the eyes of a beagle. It's synced.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
the ball's just, look, it's in the confines of the glove. It just doesn't hit the back of the glove.
To me, that's one of those. I've seen so many of those saying there's not enough evidence. So many like that. So if that's uniformly what you're going to get, then that's fine. But one down, Tommy Edman, the batter, and Cordero checks on Bader. Strike. We'll see if Bader decides to hoof it from first at some point during this at bat. That clipped him. So Edman hit by a pitch. It's the third hit by a pitch in the doubleheader for the Cardinals, and that created their big rally in the first inning in game one.
Yeah, that was really destructive in the first inning where both guys that were hit scored. Again, we talk about the elbow and what good hitters will do. Guys that need to be aboard, as Edman does. He leaves the elbow in just for an instant. Then he, as he's turning away, gets closer to the plate, and it clips right off the elbow and to first base. So Don Cooper now coming out. He wants a word with Jimmy Cordero. This year in the early going has not been quite as smooth for Jimmy as most of last year was. And that call at first base being reversed turns out to be pretty big.
It's a good challenge by Schilt. And you got Carpenter, who only for the StatCast era has hit 31% of his balls in play on the ground, which is a while below the major league average, which is 45%. So he is not at all a ground ball hitter. speed-wise, you could turn two, but if he doesn't give you a ground ball, it would be pretty difficult. So
if he does give you a ground ball, almost undoubtedly it's going to be pulled. That would set up Tim as an awkward pivot man at second base.
yeah, your best case scenario in the way the Sox are shifting might be a ball right at Tim that he can take to the bag on his own.
Well, if Danny does get it, even if it's hit hard, it usually produces a flat foot throw on the part of the shortstop, because he's not used to going and getting the ball there, and that one gets away.
So the double play conversation turns out to be moot. Edman to second, Bader to third.
There was a little hesitation on the part of James McCann. He thought about backhanding it, realized that he has to turn the glove over, and it got away.
One ball, one strike. Moncada in at third, and a ground ball foul from Carpenter with Goldschmidt next. And if you get Carpenter, if you can strike out Carpenter, you have the opportunity, if you want, to bypass Goldschmidt.
I would think that would be the proper plan, and take your chances with O'Neill, if in fact it would be O'Neill or somebody off Mike Schilt's bench.
On 1-2 to second base, Mendick tracks it down. It does get a run home. 2 out in the inning. As Bader scores, Edman advances to third.
Third run batted in for Carpenter. Actually make that the fourth, because being hit by a pitch in that first game, he drove in a run.
That's going to be it for Jimmy Cordero. Evan Marshall to face Paul Goldschmidt. Sox have to get 7 outs. The lead is a run. We'll be back in mere moments.
Bank call to the pen. Lakeside Bank. It's about time, and Evan Marshall comes into this with a 1-run lead. On for the 10th time, and he's been brilliant. An ERA under 1, 14 strikeouts in 9 1/3. And you got a very dangerous hitter up in Paul Goldschmidt. So you do have one big advantage, and that is you've got first base open. The 4th inning on a fastball up. He didn't hesitate, took it back. That pretty much a no-doubter. 400 feet, certainly got the job done. And for Goldschmidt, that was his second home run, second run driven in. But you've got first base open. You want Goldschmidt to get himself out of the strike zone. I know he represents the go-ahead run, but he's a lot more dangerous than anybody they have in the on-deck circle. And O'Neill happens to be the man due up.
Outs are important, and quick outs too, with weather building in the area that's starting to force its way into our vicinity. Marshall has strike one on a curveball to Goldschmidt, which dovetails with what you're talking about. It's probably not in the space he'd want it to be.
No, it was effective, as he was looking anything but on the first pitch. It's going to be his slider.
One ball, one strike. Edman at third, 2 out. In for a strike on another breaking ball.
Yep, good location with that. Fooled Goldschmidt. You see his knees. Anytime you see a hitter's knees buckle, it's very rare that he can get back and do some damage. High fastball here. Goldschmidt probably looking for something down and out of the zone.
On the ground up the middle, Mendick has it kick off his glove, and the Sox will not get the out. The Cardinals have tied the ball game.
That'll go as a base hit. That one was at the top of the strike zone. Most likely, James McCann wanted it up and out of the zone, and Goldschmidt was able to get on top of it, hit it on the ground, and just like that, we've got a tie game.
That's not easy to do up there.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, this one doesn't stick in the glove, and Tim on the carom tries to do his best but can't get it there in time.
And so that run's charged to Jimmy Cordero. Game is tied as the Sox will bring up Robert Mazzara and Mendick in the home fifth of a 7-inning ball game. Long fly ball left field. Jimenez at the track. It is out of here, and the Cardinals have taken the lead.
That one was off the shoe tops. O'Neill just went down and got it. It's his third home run of the year. He's driven in 6. Ford home run replay. This is a sinker that, I mean, is diving inside. He just goes down, uppercut swing, and takes it out.
First pitch, swinging strike one. Brad Miller. This is clearly a resilient Cardinals side. Boy, the hit batter of Tommy Edman is so big in this inning.
Well, look, this is a game of nuance and things in this inning. Number one, you had a reverse call at first base. That wasn't as damaging, however, as a pitch that got away from James McCann, because Carpenter then hit what would have been a double play ground ball and out of the inning. Instead, you score a run, the inning stays alive, and now the Cardinals have a 2-run lead. So, but for that pitch in the dirt, even with everything that came before it, this inning has a much different look and now a much different feel.
Off the plate, 2-2. That's down into short center for a base hit, and Miller has his first hit. That's 3 straight to reach since Marshall came in. Coop on the phone.
Nobody up, but that's going to be rectified soon. Kurt Hassler on the phone call. And Jace Fry all ready to get loose.
Strike one. This inning all started with a base hit by Schrock. That again normally is caught. Hung up for a while, and the Cardinals eventually parlay it into a big inning as that ball slices foul. Oh, 2. Off the plate, outside, 1-2. Eighth batter of the 5th inning for St. Louis. Good at bat from Carlson. Throw to first. You wouldn't imagine Brad Miller is going anywhere, but he draws a throw.
No, I wouldn't think so. He doesn't have a running lead.
You missed the Todd Frazier walking lead from a couple years ago when he draw a throw and he wouldn't have moved.
That was good, but the fact is, if you didn't go over there every now and then, his walking lead would turn into a stolen base.
That's right.
For a guy that didn't have great speed, he was pretty efficient at base stealing.
His cousin Frazier Todd was pretty good at it too. 1-2. Another Tapper foul. Evan Marshall just cannot dispatch Dylan Carlson, the 21-year-old rookie. Another 1-2 from Marshall. That's up. It's been a long, harrowing 5th inning for Sox relievers. Cordero faced 4. This is Marshall's 4th batter. And a 2-2 for Carlson. Right-hand side, a base hit. Miller on his way to 3rd. Throw coming into the infield is not in time on Carlson, who's got his first major league hit. It's a double, and the Cardinals have 2 more on.
They're going to authenticate that one as he runs this into a 2-base hit. And it's consistently amazing when you lose somebody that valuable out of your bullpen, it has a ripple effect on everybody else. There's a rhythm to all bullpens, especially when you have your guys that are associated with a winning game. And that rhythm was Aaron Bummer right in the middle of everything, whether it was the 6th or 7th inning. In his absence, things have become a whole lot tougher, and Jace Fry will come into this with the Sox trailing by a pair, and we'll be back right here.
Jace Fry will get Matt Wieters. This is the 9th batter at the top of the 5th inning. Sox came into the inning up 3-1. Cardinals have 4 runs on 5 hits and a hit batter. Second and third, 2 gone. And Jace Fry with a first pitch fastball upstairs. Sox had taken the lead on an Eloy Jimenez 2-run homer. Luis Robert a solo shot in the 3rd in this game. That settles just off the plate, a curveball, 2-0. To your point about Aaron Bummer, it just thins everybody out and forces everybody up a rung into the spots they pitch in.
I mean, when you have a good run for your bullpen, everybody knows just about exactly when they're coming in. And then you take out one of the best left-handers in baseball and he goes on a shelf. It's just a different world, and that ball rifled foul. But we said at the time, and there were many key injuries. I mean, you lose your double play combination, that's tough. Anderson and Madrigal. You lose a couple of starters, that's 40% of your rotation, and that's really tough. You start losing Jimmy Lambert, who showed a good arm and maybe was a candidate to start. And you know that Dane Dunning is really not quite ready yet, coming back from surgery. But the loss of Aaron Bummer is the most costly loss this team could have experienced. Probably more devastating than any single loss this team could experience.
He's that linchpin in the bullpen, and the Sox are without him, at least for the time. And James McCann goes trotting out to talk to Jace Fry. The Sox will have Robert, Mazzara, and Mendick coming up in the home fifth, as the Sox and Cardinals are going to play again tomorrow. 12:30 our airtime with White Sox pregame live, and then first pitch between Dallas Keuchel and Dakota Hudson at 1:10. At Dallas against Dakota. Central Time Zone rejoices. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. And the long, cold fifth inning winter is over. Bottom five, Sox will bat down 2. Yes, powered by Google Cloud, we take you back to the third inning. Come along with us. The high leg kick says it all for Woodford. And Luis, 435, his longest home run of his major league career, and it goes the opposite way with Alex Reyes on to do that.
Alex Reyes still throws hard. At one point, he was highly thought of as a starter in this Cardinal organization. Through their minor leagues, they felt that he was going to take a spot probably middle to upper part of the rotation, but for him it never quite worked out that way, and then he started getting hurt.
Tommy John surgery, broken finger.
Yeah, that's, you know, when that happens, sometimes you just never realize your potential. The arm is still there. He's a big young man at 6'4", 220, throws hard, lost the entire 2017 season, and then tried to work his way back. They're hoping he can find it out of the bullpen.
On 1-1 for Luis Robert. That's in. 2 balls and a strike. Close on the slider. Two and 2 for Robert. I mean, they're having to carry a bunch of pitchers on this roster right now. They get the extra one today as a 29th man for a doubleheader, and they get that again Monday and Wednesday.
I would say the 29th man probably will move in because he's not going anywhere with 3 doubleheaders in 5 days.
Yeah, it's not as easy as you fly somebody in from AAA Memphis at this point. I mean, they've got to be on your travel roster. You can carry a couple extra on the travel roster, and then you just bump them up and activate them almost like hockey scratches. Reyes wearing number 29 very fittingly. 2-2. Robert swings through a hot fastball. 1 down.
Short arm delivery, and I think the short arm delivery is a product of being injured as many times as he has. And so there's some deception, and that fastball gets on you a little quicker. It's fast enough anyway, and threw it right by Luis.
He can still kick it up there with whatever delivery. I mean, 99.
Yeah. He always had one of those arms. I mean, sometimes what's disheartening, not only for him but for the organization, You see a guy that has everything he needs to be successful, and his body won't allow him to be that. But at this point, he's still got a lot of time and a lot of room left. And if you can get it up there like he has, he just has to find a strike zone consistently. He's got a great pitching coach in Mike Maddox. He's been good wherever he's gone. So they're hoping that the light turns on and he stays healthy, which has always been the key with him.
Mazara's got to dance out of the way. 2 balls, no strikes. Sox have 1 walk in this game, and it came around to score. 3 walks in the first game, and none of them scored. Sox had trouble making contact against the Cardinal bullpen late in game number 1. Trying to flip that in the final 8 outs in game 2. Golfed foul, 2-1 Mazara. Couple of early 20-somethings talking it over on the bench. 2-1.
Certainly have to heat it up with Reyes on the mound. 98-99 consistently.
Time called. Two. Inside, bouncing away. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That came very close to hitting him in the back foot once again. I don't think he wants another one of those.
Yeah, 1's enough for your Saturday.
Yep. What was entertaining when you watch the Cardinals was watching Jordan Hicks pitch.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that was yet to be determined was, could he get to 105 miles an hour? Cardinals are hoping he comes back and is anything close to what he was when he left.
Struck him out. Mazara didn't like it. 2 gone.
Wieters wants it there, and actually it has the whole play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Nomar might not have liked it, but he just got either outguessed or lost command of the zone. That's a perfect pitch with 2 strikes on it.
Two out, Danny Mendick. And ball 1. Not a lot of other action in Major League Baseball, but the Twins are down 4-1 in the top of the 4th in game 2 of their doubleheader with the Royals. Another 7-inning doubleheader. Kansas City has jumped on Jose Barrios for 4 runs in 3 2/3.
He hasn't been the same. Barrios, for whatever reason, just doesn't have what he had a whole lot of last year. He's getting touched up early.
2-1 on Danny Mendick. For Kansas City, Danny Duffy has thrown very well. 1 unearned run on 1 hit in 3 innings.
That's what you always see when you watch him pitch. They're hoping he just puts it together over a long period of time.
How many times have we seen Danny Duffy, first time through the order, just mow down the Sox?
He's got that kind of stuff. I mean, he's really good about that. Then something happens, but look, if you've got that kind of stuff and you throw left-handed, you're going to be given a lot of opportunities.
Two and two for Danny Mendick. Time called, and no pitch will come.
Lance Barksdale got out of there quickly.
I'm telling you, they have got to be teaching that in umpire school. We've seen some of the quickest bails ever this year.
Well, you want to make sure, number one, that everybody knows that this is no pitch, and you're hoping the pitcher doesn't throw it, is what it amounts to.
Foul ball, right-hand side. Well, Cardinals drove up in a parade, 41 rental cars and a bus to get to Chicago to play this doubleheader after yesterday's postponement. 2-2, struck him out. Reyes strikes out the side in the 5th. 5-3, Sox trail. Top of the 6th inning. The lights have been on for about an inning now at Guaranteed Rate Field, with some weather starting to threaten our general area. This game is official. We are through 5. The Sox are down by 2, and Schrock will lead it off. Then Bader and Edman. This is the 3 that caused the havoc last inning, including Schrock's leadoff single, which he plopped down in front of Mazzara in right, and eventually led to 5 hits in the inning and 4 runs. Jace Fry came on to get a strikeout of Wieters as Schrock pushes this into center field. Our big story is, as always, presented by Kia. It's home runs. Luis Robert, big fly. Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals. Eloy Jimenez, watch it go to Whittingham meets, and O'Neill with the big one, a 2-run shot that gave the Cardinals their currently standing 5-3 lead. Sox have 2 hits in the game, and they are both home runs. 5 total hits in the twin bill. This was an offense that provided 8 runs and 7 runs in the final 2 games against the Tigers, and 18 total hits. But so far today, in a couple of shortened games, the offense has not provided massive numbers. One and 2 from Jace Fry.
It was Bader beating out that double play ground ball in the 5th inning that certainly helped in an inning that the Cardinals took the lead.
Moncada at the line. Fair ball. Mendick the turn. It is in time. A double play, and this one's going to stick.
It didn't get him the first time, but second time is the charm. Pretty quick, 5-4-3. Nice play by Ioane. Plants the foot, gets it there in plenty of time. Throw to first by a step.
Two gone. Tommy Edman gets that first pitch. Curveball for a strike. Sox in the 6th will have the top of the order. Anderson, Moncada, Grandal. Bottom of the 6th, I should say. I'd say top of the 6th.
The 6th. See, it kind of covers everything.
Thank you. Yeah, the whole 6th. It's one of those games where the home team decides whether they want to bat first or not. This day in 1905, Rube Waddell threw a 5-inning no-hitter for the Philadelphia A's. It wasn't officially considered a no-hitter, though, because it was stopped by a torrential rain. He struck out 9 of the 15 St. Louis Browns he faced that day. And a St. Louis Cardinal goes down as if listening to the story. Bottom 6, Sox down 2. Top of the order next.
Security is presented by Xfinity. We'll take it a very snappy 5-4-3. They failed to turn it last time because of the speed of Bader, but this time they get him by a step.
I think every double play we should watch twice because it's a double play.
That would be 4 outs as Tyler Webb comes into the game on for the 4th time and has not given up anything yet.
Good job there with the Sox, Matt. Tim Anderson takes a strike from Webb, who will throw fastball, curveball for the most part. Little changeup. First pitch off speed. And second pitch, fastball, 0-2. Left side of the infield, Miller had to cut it off, and he beats Tim by a long step, 1 away. One down for Yoan, who's nothing for 5 in the doubleheader so far. You can always tell that we're in for it weather-wise when people start playing "Is it raining?" before we ask. We have "Is it raining?" being played. Hashtag "Is it raining?" If it's raining by you, let us know, because it's coming. I've been told already that it's raining in Lombard right now. Cats and dogs, according to Alex. The clouds are coming through. You say it's getting lighter, and it might be right now.
To me, the world is a very light place.
Okay. First base side and foul. There are so many wallet jokes available, and I wouldn't dare. 1-2 on Yoan. The 7-inning game. Sox are trying to avoid 2 doubleheader sweeps in the same first month of the season as Cishek gets loose. 2-2 for Yoan. Off the plate, 3 balls, 2 strikes from Tyler Webb. And he kicked up some dirt with ball 4. So the Sox will have the tying run coming up here in the 6th with Yasmani Grandal.
This game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. For 75 years, Marquette Bank has improved the lives of neighbors, families, and business owners. They're a modern neighborhood bank with online banking, mobile banking, and digital home financing. You get 40,000 plus free ATMs nationwide, and they're the only bank with fun rewards. Rediscover neighborhood banking at emarquettebank.com/75.
Every time you do one of these reads now, I think you're going to pause and say because, and then it's time to sing again.
No, we can't do that. We only did it once today, and I'm very happy that it was sung.
It was a bringer of home runs.
It was indeed, almost immediately. Well, get a couple men on, and maybe we'll sing it again.
Or just right now. Grandal, the tying run, and he takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, he's waiting on his first home run this season, and the right side is where he's swinging it a lot better.
On the infield, Schrock. Two down for Abreu. Pops the glove high, ball one.
You certainly want to see Abreu get on, because this is a good matchup for Eloy. Actually, a good matchup also for Abreu.
2 balls, no strikes. Feed him a fastball.
Outfield is as deep as you want to get. Bader is so far back in center field, he's almost on the warning track. This is your no doubles defense. Anything over their head is out of the park.
Yeah, Bader's basically one of Roger Bossard's grounds crew. I mean, he's very close to that tunnel out there in center field.
Although you're dying for base runners, still give Jose the 3-0 green light if he gets something to his liking.
He did it for a 2-run shot in Milwaukee.
He's not going to get a fastball, I don't think.
Back to Webb. Inning over. We'll play the 7th. Sox are down a pair.
Steve Cishek comes in the ballgame out for the 10th time. His ERA at 8.5. There you look at the numbers. And he's got to get through the heart of this Cardinal order.
He'll face Carpenter first. And he spins in strike one, a slider to Carpenter, who drove in a run in each portion of this doubleheader. The RBI ground out in the 5th, part of that 4-run 5th inning for St. Louis.
If Matt will be kind enough to hit a foul ball, I can get in our promo.
That's what it takes. Foul ball.
It's one option.
Base hit, inside out swing, and a single for Carpenter.
T-Mobile is your ticket to the game with America's largest 5G network.
There you go. Got it done.
There it is.
So here's Goldschmidt. Jace Fry went 1 1/3 and struck out 2. He was done with Edman. Strikeout in the 6th to end the inning. Fry out. Cishek in, and he gave up the single to the left-handed Carpenter. As there is ball 1 for Goldschmidt.
Well, the last thing you want to do is leave anything breaking on the inside part of the plate. To most hitters, certainly not Paul Goldschmidt.
Two 2-0. That's there for a strike or so.
Goldschmidt realizes it hooked around the plate, but he was not the beneficiary of the call.
Two 2-1. Ooh, that was ripped foul. 2-2. That'll scatter some folks. Sox in the 7th. We'll have Eloy Jimenez, James McCann, and Luis Robert. 2-2. Tapped foul, third base side. Credit to this Cardinals team, by the way. They didn't play for 2.5 weeks. Got out of their cars and their bus. They put up 4 runs in game number 1. And if you thought maybe after weeks of not doing anything athletic on a field really as a team that they might tire late, they have a 4-run 5th inning.
The reality is that a whole lot of people, most people in fact, pick the Cardinals to get to the playoffs. So look, this is fairly disappointing at this point. Still a little bit to go yet, but you're not playing the Pottstown Firebirds. The Cardinals have a pretty good team.
You never know how the season goes. You might play the Pottstown Firebirds at some point.
Well, maybe the second round of the playoffs. Mike Shildt has himself a well-disciplined, very well put together ball club. And imagine when Molina and DeYoung come back to add to what they have.
Two.
Mazara on the move. Nomar is still going, and he does get there. Round number 1.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule presented by Volkswagen. One more with these Cardinals tomorrow, and then Detroit comes to town for 4 before taking on the Cubs. That's at Wrigley. Then it's on to Pittsburgh before coming back. A couple of off days sprinkled in, and then Kansas City comes to town.
You know, I was thinking about the other day, the year 2000. Remember the Indians played 2 separate teams at home on the same day? They had essentially a triangle doubleheader.
Could very well. I assume that it's going to happen this year. You know, I mean, so many other things have happened. You would think, with the amount of games that the Cardinals have to make up, that you'd see it again.
The Major League Baseball is going to celebrate Negro Leagues baseball tomorrow, and that was a staple of Negro Leagues baseball, is that multiple teams would come into the same town and they'd play essentially a triangle of a schedule at certain points. Just outside on the sinker.
O'Neill is the guy that put the Cardinals up. His home run on a low pitch in the 5th inning did the honors.
Took the slider there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was too low, that pitch.
Is he still playing?
No. Troy Tulowitzki.
Great. He was just a great player, but one of those guys, again, as great as he was, eventually his body just gave way. But he was just wonderful.
Left center. Base hit for O'Neill up the alleyway. Robert goes to clean it up. And so that'll keep the run from coming home. The Cardinals have 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in the 7th inning. The MLB app is the only place to get all your White Sox action, in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboard standings, and more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball.
Now Miller, 2nd and 3rd, and they're going to let him swing here. You got the left-handed Miller, the infield drawn in. You have the rookie Carlson, his spot on deck, but it looks like they may pinch hit for Carlson. High fly ball right field. Mazara back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. Mazara is camped, and he makes the catch. Cardinals get another run. Carpenter scores. O'Neill to 3rd.
First run batted in this year for Brad Miller. That one just barely stayed in the park. I mean, a towering fly ball. Nomar has about a foot to spare. But the Cardinals pick up another run.
Carlson will bat for himself. So the leadoff single from the left-handed Carpenter comes around to score. And Carlson takes a strike. Guided in the air left center. Robert back, still churning. He's there, and he makes the catch. Luis Robert puts it away, and that will do it.
Sox need some help. Down by 3. Do whatever you need to do to get the Sox a comeback. Bottom 7 after this.
is, and there it is. When all was beautiful, Sox were up 3-1 at this point. Everything looking good. The sun was out. And now he just wants to get on base at the very least against Andrew Miller. On for the third time. And during his heyday, he was one of the most devastating left-handers in all of baseball. He originally came up with the Detroit Tigers as a starter. High draft pick, threw kind of across his body, and his body didn't hold up. But when he went to the bullpen, he was as good as it was, and he would go multiple innings out of the pen. I mean, he was a huge weapon. Might remember him with the Cleveland Indians, where he was just awfully good.
35 years old now, Miller, in his 15th year in Major League Baseball, wraps around a first pitch ball one as Colton Wong has jumped into the game to play second base for Schrock. Wong, the tremendous defensive player for the Cardinals. There's a strike on Eloy Jimenez. Eloy's two-run home run gave the Sox the lead in the fourth. And this is a rocket up the middle into left center field. Eloy has a leadoff base hit in the seventh.
We'll take another look as Eloy goes right back up the middle. At one point, when Miller was healthy and his arm was lively, he had one of the most explosive sliders in the game. These days, after many injuries, he's still a weapon, but stuff not quite as sharp as the Sox try to battle their way back into this.
Well, the Indians gave up a load of talent for Andrew Miller at that deadline in 2016, when the Indians really put together a boat full of talent. Clint Frazier, among others, Justice Sheffield as well in that deal for Miller.
Almost parlayed it into a World Series championship. But for a speech after the rain.
1-1 on McCann. Time now for our American Family Insurance home field hero. It's James McCann at home this year.
Pretty good this year. Could use one here. Could use the 8th home hit here.
Home hit here.
Yes.
I like it. Ball and a strike. James takes outside 2-1. So one more base runner would mean Luis Roberts the tying run. The clouds encircling the ballpark.
I think it's getting lighter.
So is your ability to tell the truth. 3 balls and a strike on McCann.
Still got some room in this one.
We have visual proof that you're wrong, which we rarely do.
That's just a technicality.
Dave Turner, our director, is clearly on my side. Thanks, Bulldog.
Plenty of time for a rally here.
3-1 to McCann from Miller, and he takes a called strike.
Well, that's that sweeping slider. That one started outside and bit over the inside corner. That was vintage Miller. Doesn't have that one consistently, but that was a dandy.
Three and two. Oh, he swung at ball 4. You don't see James do that a whole lot.
No, this one is up and out of the zone. And unfortunately, it's 1 out, 1 on. Instead of 2 on, nobody out.
Encarnacion's in the on-deck circle. Robert, the batter, here. First pitch swinging, chopped it foul, and Edwin actually took a rip at it too as it was bouncing toward the on-deck circle. He was just doing his
pre-at-bat work, and the baseball came flying at him. 0-1. Robert thought about it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. One to Robert. Luis flies it to center field. Bader drifting, and he is underneath to make the catch for out number 2, and it's up to Encarnacion. So Edwin pinch hitting for Mazzara. Miller throws ball 1. Edwin nearly got hit by that, and Eloy's going to take off for second.
Well, that's when you're looking for bring the tying run to bat, that's when you get out of the way and start limping up the first baseline. I mean, this one actually went between his legs. It went behind his back foot. If he starts limping, it's going to be really hard to tell that it hits the uniform or not. I mean, that's not your first instinct, but he just wanted to make sure he still had an ankle left after that pitch.
It's a 37-year-old pogo sticking out of the way. Popped up first base side and foul. It's going to be 2-1 for Encarnacion. Subaru White Sox postgame live is next. 12:30 our airtime tomorrow with pregame festivities. And first pitch, Dallas Keuchel versus Dakota Hudson. Edwin checks it up and takes strike 2, bottom of the zone. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, there's the replication of that same pitch he threw to James McCann, the one that snapped from outside over the inside corner. He's trying to do it again, but he's not as consistent with that as he once was. Can use a base runner here.
Edwin strikes out, and that will do it. The Sox in non-doubleheader days are 10-7 this year. In doubleheader days, the Sox are 0-4, and they dropped to 10-11 overall.
Day game tomorrow. Sox try to salvage the 3rd and final game of the series. This one, disappointing.
Will have to be Dallas Keuchel to play stopper tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you then. For Chris Withers, for Dave Turner, for Chris Kamka, for Mark Harper, for Greg Bowman, for Kevin Cross, for Joe Grube, for Steve Stone, I'm Jason Benetti. Our entire crew says farewell. Sox fall 6-3 in Game 2. Now, Subaru White Sox post-game live. Chuck and Ozzie take it away.